everybody, and welcome to She's in Business Live. Today, I'm really excited about the guest that we have coming on. If you've been in the online space for any amount of time, her reputation precedes her. You've definitely seen her in groups, out and about, up in front of the world as a thought leader, especially in this space, and especially in the space of premium high ticket sales. So today I'm going to be sitting down with Laura Wright. We're going to talk about money mindset for selling high ticket premium offers. And you guys know how much I love talking about high ticket and premium offers and starting at that place. And it's the best way to create a profitable business from the start. So I'm really excited to hear more about what Laura has for us. And she's been teaching this for a long time and is one of the best teachers when it comes to high ticket sales, money mindset, and everything that surrounds it. So I'm gonna roll the intro real quick and then we'll be back with Laura.
Hello, I'm just over the moon excited. Can't wait to dive in, take care of all the people, do all the things, have the conversation with you. I'm energized.
This is like, so the person who does all our booking, JJ, everybody kind of knows her. She's our creative director. She was like, you will not believe who's going to come on to the show because I'm a huge fan of yours. I think everything that you say is just so on point and anybody can do what you're saying if you follow the actual steps that you talk about. And I think that that's really powerful, at least for the people that I deal with. They need some of that confidence. They need some of those mindset shifts, but they also need the big picture strategy. And so I love that you bring that to everything. So I'm going to read your intro because it's really cool, if you don't mind.
I'm happy to.
Yeah, usually I wing them. But so Laura Wright is an author, speaker, growth strategist, and master sales coach. Her approach to creating wealth and scaling businesses is simple, effective, and steeped in the absolute belief that sales is love, which I just love that. Okay, so she's closed a cool $43 million and then some over the past 20 years. And she's the founder of Epic at Sales and co-founder of Sold Incorporated, which I'm going to ask you about in a little bit. But for a time, Laura's life was anything but epic. After her real estate company crashed and burned in 2008, Laura found herself over $500,000 in debt while being the sole provider of her family, no less. We're going to have to talk about that. She was lost, demoralized, doubting her ability to rise up from the setback until she remembered two of her greatest gifts: the power to see the potential in any situation and the ability to close just about any sale with love. A few years later, Laura has made a name for herself in the coaching industry as the go-to sales ninja for service-based women in business, helping her clients scale to 6 figures within months and cross 7 figures in record time. There's nothing about that I just don't love. I don't love the part where you were struggling, but I love the fact that you came through and have become what you are. So Laura, tell me a little bit about because a lot of people during COVID especially, like they had this exact same thing happen, or maybe smaller, maybe in a bigger scope. How did that come about? How did you get through it? How'd you have that your own mindset breakthrough of like, hey, I'm gonna be okay if I just put my superpowers back into this?
Yeah, I want to say that I just like snapped my fingers, magic, everything was great. Reality. Actually, as my ship was burning, things were crashing. I put my head in the sand and I pretended like it wasn't happening. And I remember I had one of those dark night of the soul moments that a lot of us happen. It's either internal, you've done something or things have happened, or it's external, like COVID or economy shifts where it happens to you. And I remember just literally locking myself out of my house. It was snowing and sleeting and nasty out. Luckily, I locked the dog inside, me outside. So he was safe and fine. And the fun little backstory to that is this was during the biggest part of the crash and burn. And I had also asked my boyfriend at the time, husband now, to quit his job because I had it handled. I got everything handled. I got everything handled. So we're all good. And I remember being there in that spot and everything just broke for me. And it was a moment of acknowledgement. So I think that's one of the key points along the way is acknowledging what's going on. And I also made a decision to change it. And so on that day, he came home from school because I was outside for a while. And P.S. he had gone back to school. So we're grown ass adults. Like this was not like, hey, we're okay because we don't make anything. We had responsibilities. And I shared what was going on, and he's like, I know, and let's fix it. And so I again want to say I snapped my fingers, but what I did was I started to progress. And why I tell this part of the story is because I started to get in motion. I started to really see possibility, but the number one thing I did was I relied on sales. I was telling a story the other day and I said, sales saved my life. And I don't mean that in a hyperbolic sense. I mean that in a truest sense of the word. I knew I could go connect and make invitations and sell to people. And so this story and this pattern and this pathway is just one, but it's actually happened a couple times to me. I want to say that entrepreneurship, spoiler alert, is this beautiful, just glory. Oh, we figured it out. It's fantastic. We keep going. No, you're laughing. We can talk for hours on that one.
Yeah.
But what I noticed was I came back to my husband again during one of my down periods, and I came back to my husband again after another one. And he said something to me that really radically transformed my life, and I hold on to it, and I want everyone to hold on to this. You already have it. You already know what to do. It's not the fall down, it's how you rise back up. And in fact, when he helped me see back over my picture, what I saw was moments of falling down, and he literally didn't see that. What he saw were moments when I rose up. So anytime that I'm in a space where I need to redefine my circumstances, recommit, reconnect, create what I desire, I go and look to how did I rise up? And that shift for me is the shift I want to give to everyone is the possibility to create change happens in that moment of decision to see what you can do next. So long-winded answer, but super important, I think.
I talk about that all the time, how businesses just failure after failure after failure. Not necessarily in a big way, but it's testing things out, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. So even if it's just seeing if a new product's going to sell or seeing if a particular, angle is the right angle, whatever it is, you have to have, both the successes and the losses and the wins and the losses to learn and to grow. And nobody just has this, this smooth ascension into greatness in their business. It's a roller coaster, and you gotta want to stay on the ride, or you're gonna bail pretty fast, because it's just that kind of journey, and that's what makes it so unique and cool, and something that you just feel the more of a roller coaster ride it can be. Sometimes like the more energized you get, like, hey, let's figure this out. Like, let's let's move through this challenge. Because they're just going to keep coming. Every time you grow a little bit, there's a new challenge that you just never encountered before, and you got to deal with that. So we've been doing a lot of that over the last year and expanding into different industries and positioning and things. And it's been like that. It's just like, well, that didn't work. So let's shift and evolve from there. So talk to me a little bit about, you're everybody knows you as the premium sales marketing coach. Like, you are the person people go to if they want to have a premium offer, a high ticket offer. But what is, in your definition, what is high ticket or a premium offer to you? Because I hear a huge range of numbers across the industry. And so I always like to know, what numbers are we talking about when we're talking about premium?
I love that you brought this up, because I actually used to tell this example and I have lost the thing. It will come around at some point.
Yeah.
I used to have this little teeny tiny lipstick that was like teeny tiny, and it was a sample, but I think it was like $30 for this little sample. That could be considered premium based on what it is and what the value is of something else. When I speak about premium and high ticket, I also want to be clear there must be something behind it. I think there's been this fallacy in our industry where people are just slapping a big price ticket on and say high ticket is because the price is high. When I talk about premium and high ticket, what I actually talk about is price point, stretching, and expansion. Because most of us, what we're selling is transformation. Like even if you sell web design, it is transforming someone. So there is no such thing as a set number. But when I use terms, I remember someone came to me and they're like, well, I have a premium high ticket offer and it's 3,000. And I'm like, I have a premium high ticket offer that is 100,000.
Mhm.
So there's no boundaries, but what I would hope that you would look at is, what do you actually mean by premium pricing? What do you actually mean by high ticket? The price point and why I use premium and high pricing together, they have to correlate. One of my offers is 100,000, and I will tell you the amount of value you get out of that offer is worth more than $1 million. Is it for everybody? No. But is it for exactly the right person? And this is the other side of premium pricing, and why I like to define it is I set the price point to match the right audience.
Mhm.
So when you are thinking about your own high ticket offers, your premium price points, match them to the price that will create transformation for your clients, not the price you think they pay. And there's a really, really important thing there, because the woman who shows up on my front steps who wants to grow from 6 figures to seven should not be paying $10,000 to go there.
Mhm.
Because if she could spend $10,000, it's probably very easy and she'll keep doing exactly the same things and she will get the exact same results. But the woman who's been making, maybe $100,000, $200,000 and wants to grow to 1 million, if she invests $100,000 into her business, it will require her to be different, do different things, learn different things, become different. And if it's done with someone like myself or someone like you who has integrity and the backing behind what they're teaching, it's actually going to give them the strategy to get there as well. And that's what a premium high ticket offer is: partnering what they need with their high ticket, with the transformation, and with the substance behind it.
I love that so much. It's that commitment that, you put your money where your mouth is, sort of thing. Like, I could give
Mhm.
somebody one of my programs for free, a $25,000, $50,000 program. I could do all this work for them. And 90% of the time, if I did it for free or I did it for cheap, they're not going to utilize that asset that we created. They're not going to, because they're not all in. And
Mhm.
it's not that they intend to not do it or they had ill intent coming in. But what I realized, even in the beginning, for a year, we were charging it was almost embarrassing what we were charging for $25,000 and $50,000 traditional offers. And no, they still would not use the things
Mhm.
that we created for them. We would create these like beautiful courses, we do all this video work and like visual branding, and it would just sit there in Google folders and Vimeo, and I would watch and they wouldn't use it. But the people who invested the $50,000, who spent a week with us, who we did all this work with, they were the ones
Mhm.
who they were trying to use that immediately. They wanted to get their ROI back. They knew it was an investment, and it wasn't just a monetary investment. It had to be an investment that they themselves put in to do the work. So I see that all the time, and we try to tell our clients too. It's like you think you're doing them a favor because you think they can't
Nope.
afford 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, but you're actually putting them at a disadvantage if you're not pushing them beyond their comfort zone in all those regards. So what I'm hearing from you is, don't just slap a price tag on it. You want to meet them or
Mhm.
match the value and beyond, so that they feel like, hey, that was worth $1 million, even if I just paid 100,000.
And I love what you just said, because here's what's really important about that. Just because it is, oh my goodness. So I started the story by telling about my amazing, wonderful husband who helped me rise up. And he also just brought me gorgeous, glorious dumplings to eat. So
I
I
love
will have to
him.
set
Can
them
he
down.
bring
But
us dumplings?
he can bring every, oh, well, wait. I have a package for that.
Yes, I will pay all the money for some dumplings right now.
And they're gorgeous. They're glorious. I may even sneak one in. What I really want to connect to is, there's a second side to just putting all that value in. And I think this is the other side when we miss it, because you hit the nail on the head. If somebody is not fully and committed and fully vested in and paying, they will not actually receive. So you're doing them a disservice. But if you are not refilled by what you sell, you are doing a disservice to yourself. So
Yes.
I want to be clear when I say $100,000 offer that has $1 million value does not mean that I am overworking and undercharging. What it
Mm,
actually means is that the substance of what they're purchasing is the best for what they want. So we do not undercharge and over deliver, because if just think about it for a second. If you have 15 clients and you have to have 15 to make the amount of money that you need each month, and you are zipping around between of them, they're all getting like a 15th of your brilliance. If you have 5 clients that are paying you the same amount as 15, imagine how you can give, pour in, be like rejuvenated, and what they're going to get. The quality that they're going to get from you is amazing. And then I'm going to tell you the secret that everybody needs to know. My highest level, highest ticket clients actually need the least amount from me. My lowest paying clients are the least invested usually and need the most. So I want for you to realize that high ticket premium pricing does not have weight to it. It's actually one of the lightest things to deliver.
I have found that also to be true in the done for you space. It's the easiest projects are typically the ones who are the most invested, and they're ready to move the fastest and get through it. And they don't want to struggle. They want ease. You know, they want to go through the process with ease. So we talked to a lot of kind of new coaches or service providers, specifically who, even if they've been doing it a few years, they're not exactly sure how to price or position or package an offer. So even if they just want to get to 100,000 a year, or they want to get to $1 million a year, whatever the goals are, they're not really sure where to start in. Where should I be priced at? How do I do this? And that just holds them back for years, because they don't really see a pathway to make it happen.
Can I just tell everyone how to do it so it's nice and easy?
Yeah.
Yes. It's going to start. Yeah, I was like, Laura, of course you can. This is how sales is great. Yeah. So first things first, stop looking at what anyone else is doing. Because what happens in the marketplace is you have a service and you see somebody's doing her thing that way. And then you go, ooh, I should do less or more or different because what she did. But guess what she did? She pulled that number out of her behind. She also probably, and I say that with love, it's not a bad thing. She also chose a number that matched for her and what her skills are, what her talents are. So the first thing first that I ask people to do is sit down and decide, what service do you want to provide? What is the term of transformation that's required to complete it? If you're doing done for you, if you're doing coaching, consulting, anything that you do, how much real live time do you need to complete it? Ask yourself, how much do you want to be earning on a monthly basis? How many clients do you want to work with? When you put all those factors in, you can start to get to the place of pricing. And then I'm going to tell you one more secret to pricing to know it's going to work for you. So I'll tell you a story. Years back, I had this amazing mentor. And at the time I was selling my VIP day for $10,000. And she kept saying to me, Laura, you should sell this for $25,000. And in fact, I had other people around me telling me and buying it and saying 25K. And I would get on a sales call, and I know how to sell all different types of things. And what I would say is, it's $12,000. Yeah. I'm like, why did I do that? Like, why did I say that? And so instead of beating myself up and attempting to sell at 25 when it didn't feel right, I just started selling it at 12. Right. And I sold it once or twice, and I was like, that doesn't feel good anymore. Maybe it's 15. It's 20. It's now 30 many years later. But the way that I do it is I say my price. And when I speak it and it is certain, it sticks. If I say it and it's like 10K or 50K, it doesn't stick. So use your body and your voice and listen to your numbers, but really see that they are for you. What do you need? Because here's the truth. People will pay anything if it solves their struggle and gets them to their vision. Yes, is there a moment that they won't for certain things? Like, I'm never going to buy a Bentley. We live in the city. We have a Range Rover, which I adore. It's got a couple dings on it, and that's okay. I'm never going to buy a Bentley. But I love the vehicle we love, but I didn't buy it by its price. Right. I bought what gives us four-wheel drive, what's safe for our kid, what color do I like, who are the great people that are selling it. That's what everyone is buying. So remember, price is independent. If you give someone their end of their struggle, get them to their vision. When you give them that invitation, they will buy.
I love too that you're talking about listening to your body, like what can you comfortably say out loud that doesn't make you cringe, because of course people feel that on a sales call. But two,
Mm-hmm.
it's like the recipients of your offer, when it's the right offer and it solves their problem enough, whatever number you say, their body doesn't panic either. Like I know when
Yes.
somebody, if I have a need, I have a problem I need solved, especially in business, I mean, I will spend any amount of money if it's a big enough
Mm-hmm.
problem. If it's not a big enough problem, you drop 25K on me, and then it's probably, then I'm not there yet. The problem is
Mm-hmm.
not strong enough yet, and it's not causing enough pain for me, which is fine. It's not about you, it's about me, and I'm not your ideal client, and I'm not going to be invested in it anyway. But when I have a problem that I can feel it's costing, it's costing me money, it's
Mm-hmm.
costing me peace of mind, it's costing me my health, my work-life balance, whatever it is, you can drop 25, 50. If I've got it in the budget at all, or if I can make it work, I don't even hear really the price. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
And so I think people are always expecting, oh, I'm going to save $50,000, and they're going to like cringe in horror. And I'm like, no, if the problem is big enough and they can make it happen, they're going to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to have this visceral, like horrified reaction that people think that they're going to have, just because they have that kind of initial hesitation in selling it.
Yeah,
Now,
you
yeah,
shouldn't anticipate their money story.
right,
You really need to stand in your firm power and
right,
know what your pricing is and own it. Like when I say my numbers, it's true like the sky is blue.
yeah,
It is true like the sun will rise. There is no wavering to it. And
right,
when you sell with that kind of conviction
right,
and knowing, people will buy.
yeah. I love that. Now, for people who they want to know kind of how to even structure a premium offer, like, and I know this is going to vary, but like what are the, like, if you looked at 10 programs and they were all kind of service provider solopreneur type programs, are there key foundational pieces that people should think about having if they are
Mhm.
creating a more premium program that they want to sell, even at just a 10K price point? Like, what are
Yep.
just some factors that would be most that they should think about?
Yep. Okay. So number one, when you price for premium, you need to really understand what the person's needs are and what they're buying. So what I like to do, and I know this, is if there's 5 things inside of a program, I put 3 in and I call 2 bonuses. Those bonuses or those customized, custom is key. So I have an offer that is basically one thing, and it's coaching.
Yeah.
We either do it in a VIP day or we do a couple calls a month or a week, but I call it custom curated one-on-one coaching. And what that means is you don't have to worry about how many or few are inside of something. I'm going to meet you where you are and get you what you want. So when you're looking at premium, keep it simple. I think that's another really, really important thing. We are taught in this online world where you're supposed to stack all the value, just clog everything. Do you know what most premium buyers, whether it's 5K, 10K, 150K, they want simplicity and ease. So I keep my offers really, really lean. What you again also need to know is how is it customized? So inside of all of my programs, I have something that is it's kind of not seen, but it's a little bonus that I know I can explain to the person's needs. So when you're doing premium, make sure it matches them. Instead of it being rigid, I have, this 3-point system that everyone has to use. If I'm selling premium, I will say to somebody, we have your unique to you pathway to get there. Are they still going to go on the 3 points? Probably. But the way they're going to need to hear it is that I'm meeting them and matching them with what they need.
Yeah. Yeah, they want the one solution. They don't want the 25 different solutions inside of a pack that they have to go through. They want to just know that you're going to get them, not necessarily even the shortcut, but the easiest path, the
Hmm.
smoothest path to get to where they want to go. They don't want all the fluff. They would have bought a bunch of $2,000, $500 courses at that point. So just
Hmm.
making it easy, like, hey, we're going to help you actually get what you want, period, is some of the, it seems so easy and simple, but most people overlook that's all people
Hmm.
want. They just want the solution.
Yeah. And I would always say this when you're building your offer, build it with everything you think you want, and then take a few things away.
Hmm.
Because here's the other thing, if you sell something and it includes things, people are going to desire it or need it,
Hmm.
and you might not actually need to deliver it. So, no, you can always plug in bonuses. And then, my thing that I always like to say to clients is whatever price you think it should be, double it.
Hmm.
It doesn't mean that you should actually sell it for double, but you should practice the effect
Hmm.
of what would this look like if it was double, and that expansion is going to show you what price point's going to actually feel good, and be willing to practice it. I love what you said at the beginning about how we are, it's not trial and error, but it's trial and see what happens. So go put a lofty tag on something that feels spacious and nourishing and amazing and a little bit scary, and go sell it to somebody, and I bet they're going to say yes.
Yeah. And isn't that like the most reaffirming thing? Like when you have a new product or service, or you've just raised the price, you've doubled the price. I remember when we went early on, we had like a $3,000 digital marketing offer, which to some people is like higher ticket for their pro, but for what it was definitely, it should have been a 20 to 25K offer. We were just starting at the time. So, we were using all those excuses we needed to get
Mm.
portfolios and whatever. This is, like 8 years ago. So I remember the day I said, nope, for the new year, we're bumping this offer to 25K. So we went from 3K to 25K. We later went to 50K for that exact same offer. But I remember that feeling, that first 25K, the first time I got a yes on it, I couldn't even, I mean, I remember that feeling of like,
Mm-hmm.
I knew what we were doing was important, and it was transformational, and it was quality, and I knew that people would pay, and I knew we were undercharging, and I knew we were then hurting the business as a result of undercharging. And, I was working crazy hours, and I mean, it was just the usual, grind when you don't have any margin. I couldn't really even deliver the product
Mm-hmm.
that I wanted because I didn't have any margin to play with. If I needed to bring somebody in to help, or a different type of, consultant or media buyer or whatever it was, I couldn't. We were stuck. And I remember that first yes. Every other yes was still sweet. It always is, but that first yes was just, I mean, I was ecstatic, and it just made everything, it changed the whole trajectory of my business and my life forever, knowing that, hey, I can charge a 25K offer and people will be happy to pay it. So I know that you talk about how do you get the yeses, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what everybody's always afraid of. Like, well, how do you even get the yes?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I can think about getting the yes, I can imagine it, but you have kind of like secret sauces to getting
Mm-hmm.
people to move to the yes.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to know all of them? I will happily tell you all of them.
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Okay.
Yes.
So, first things first, I believe that sales is love. And what I mean by that is the transformation that happens during that moment of yes and no. No is a good answer. If you've ever had a misaligned client, a no is a good thing. But when somebody says yes in that transformation, they have everything they want. So when I get on a call with somebody, what I'm looking for is to find out, do I know them? Do I like them or love them? Do I believe in them? And when those things are yeses, then I step forward and walk through my process. And here's what's really important. I want to say this so that everyone can feel it and hear it. There is no sales script that will work for you. Sorry. I'm sorry to everyone who sells it. And in fact, I will give you a little PDF so you can go look through mine, and it's not a script, but there is a process and formula for the arc of the sale. I call it my 5 steps to yes, that you can rely on. And when you rely on this, you begin to rely on yourself, because most of the time, what's happening on sales calls is you get on the call and you feel great. You're like popping, you're happy, you're excited, you meet this ideal client, you say all these things, and they say yes, and it's great. And the next call you get on, you're talking and popping and it's not gelling and it's bumpy and there's no rapport and something didn't work and they said no. And you don't actually know what just happened. But when you follow the 5 steps to yes, it is a way that you can guarantee that you can guide someone to decision, because that is actually the purpose of the way to do a sale, is to guide someone to decision. Yes, I want to work with you. No, I don't. Or I need some more information. And with more information, then it's a yes, I do, or no, I don't. It all loops the same. So here are the 5 steps to yes, super simple. And then I also have a little invitation that you can come get this and dive in deep, because this is the hot, quick, and easy. So, number one, pre-set yourself up for success before your sales call. Give yourself spaciousness in your calendar. Make sure you're not jumping from one thing to the other. If you've had a low energy day, build yourself up and get into your most powerful being, not a fake you, but the real you, the most powerful you. If you've been scrambling and you need to center down, take a few deep breaths and gather yourself. Set yourself up for success. Also, pre qualify. That's a whole nother training. We'll go down that pathway. But here's the 5 steps. Step one is to connect. Remember when I said that knowing, loving, believing, know, like, and trust? We've heard it in lots of different ways. Connect with the person. Find out what the two of you have in common. Learn about them. Share about you. Connect. When you create rapport and connection, we then can activate the rest of the sale. Second thing I talk about is I call it listen and learn. And I purposefully call this because this is where we're going to find out what their struggle is. We listen and we learn. We let them talk. We ask them questions about what's going on in their business, what's going on in their life, what's working well, what's not working well. It seems weird to go there first, but when you find out what the problem is, you then know if you can work with them. And I'll tell you, ladies, if I find out that the problem that the person has is not a problem I solve, I send them away. If I also find out that the problem that they have is not urgent, remember, as Kate was talking about, how if it will solve my problem and the problem is urgent and it's needed, I will pay anything. If a person's in a lukewarm space, you don't need to poke and prod and make the problem worse. Just help them get clear on it. I ask them also why it needs to change, why they think it needs to change now, and write this one down. If a person does not have a reason to change it now, they will not buy. So I'll ask questions like, what happens if it keeps going? Why is this important to you? Why does this have to change? And literally, why now? And then what I do is I insert a little success story here where I explain and validate what's going on for them. I hear you. I see you. I believe in you. I know your problem. I've helped other people with your problem. Now let's talk about what you want, because this is the arc of the sale. Step one is to connect. Step two is to listen and learn. Step three is vision. Because, ladies, it's very hard to buy from struggle. If you are talking all about what's not going well for somebody and then you immediately say, here's my offer, it'll fix it, you're missing half of the equation. So the other half is finding out what they want. Let them tell you. Ask the questions. What would an ideal day look like? What would an ideal life look like? What would your ideal website look like? What do you want as your results? Because I'm going to tell you a secret. So listen in. This is what everyone's buying. They're buying their vision. It's not about your program. It's not about your product. This is why premium pricing is so beautiful, because what you're going to do is you're going to ask them if they want to hear how you can help them accomplish their vision. And in that, you get to give them step four, which is the invitation. And what I like to do is to teach price anchoring and connection to what is right for them. So I don't give one offer, because you have to remember, if you give someone one offer, it's a yes or it's a no. There's no other way to go. So what I use premium pricing for and premium rates is I can say, here's my VIP highest level way to work. And I think this is a fit for you, or it's not. Here's my core offer, the way that I work with most of my clients. It's a fit for you, or it's not. And here's a small bite way to get started. And ladies, I want you to hear this really clearly. Small bite does not mean tiny price point. Small bite simply means we only address one thing. Core offer, again, is very self-explanatory. It's the core of what you do. And a VIP premium offer sets the stage. Are all of these for everyone? Absolutely not. But what you can do is remember, what did they say their struggle was? What did they say their vision was? And when you give this invitation, you insert their specific struggle and their desired outcome, their vision, into the correct offer for them. Guide them towards what they want, but then also ask, how would you like to get started? Which one feels like the fit for you? Empower them. Now, I will say this. If somebody is having feast and famine in their business and they want to buy a VIP day from me, I'm not going to sell it. Because yes, I can tell you what to do, but feast and famine, you need support along the way to change it. So if somebody wants to choose an offer that doesn't give them the outcome that they want, please do not sell it to them. We sell with integrity. We sell with transformation in mind. We sell with the highest good for you and for me in mind. And when you ask that question, which is the one for you and how would you like to get started? Here's what's going to happen. You need to go to step 5, which is the close. This is the one everyone forgets. We wait, we hope that they buy. What you want to do instead is ask how they would like to get started and then take the credit card over the phone. Yes, I'm going to say it. There's only 1 or 2 people out there in the world, depending on the service, that should actually do invoicing and or proposals. It's very rare. But when somebody is at a moment of yes, the point of sale is where the moment of transformation happens. You do not walk into a grocery store, take all the groceries and go to the edge and be like, I'll pay you guys later. You actually pay at the time of when you receive. And ladies and gents, what you are selling right now, that is when they begin to receive it. This is that moment when you take the credit card and then suddenly you get the call from your client that they just got a new client or some new opportunity happened. It's because they said yes in the transformation. Now, what's also going to show up is this: you're going to have resistance and objections show up. And I don't want you to feel unprepared. So I do have a nice little link for everybody who's here and who's watching. Is I have a free guide, and we made it free. It used to be paid, but I like to make sure that there's nothing standing in your way, which is a guide to overcoming objections. And I know the team has the link. I believe it is thesoldsisters.com/gift. Go grab it. And what it'll do is you can re-see the arc of the sale, the 5 steps to yes. And then there's all the trainings that we have around overcoming objections. Because I'm going to tell you something really important. First things first, you need to overcome your own objections. Sit with your mindset, sit with your money story, get clear on the value you are delivering, not your value. Your value is independent from your price point, but the value of what you're delivering. Start to really consider and think about the women out there, the men, whomever you serve, how much they need you. When you are in that space and when you stand in that energy of true service and support, it is going to be very easy and clear to see who your ideal clients are. When you step up and when you show up and they say, I'd love to, but I don't have the money, you're going to know how to process them through it. We do not drag people over thresholds. We do not push, force, or make someone buy. But when resistance shows up and you can be there to say, do you want to find a way? Do you want to see how we could do this together? It will transform how you sell. Now, if you want to go even deeper, I did ask Kate if it would be possible for me to share with you my full developed Epic Sales on Demand system. We have lots of ways to actually go find the clients as well as how to sell to them. My favorite thing in the whole wide world is to help you package up and make sure that you have the simplest, easiest, fewest number of people to sell offer that gives you the most reward, the most engagement, the most excitement, the most money, impact, and income. And if you want, you can come join us. We did something very, very special. Normally, when we make this offer, the Epic Sales on Demand sales system, it is normally $2,000. We're doing something special for everybody who's watching here, where you get to receive it for only $497. And why did I do this? Because I teach, don't discount, don't drop, but I teach highest service. And this is a truly leveraged offer for me that allows me to give it to so many people. But why I didn't make it free is exactly what Kate said. If it's free, then you will not go and listen to the little 8 trainings. If it's free, when I say go reach out to 4 people, you're going to say, I don't need to do that. If it's free, you won't activate it, and I want you to activate it. And then I also want to practice what I preach and give you a little special bonus, because I know bonuses are what serve people. So for the first 10 people, yes, 10, who decide that they want to step in and use Epic Sales on Demand on your very next sales call, you're going to get a one-on-one call with me. I can only do this for 10 people. I'm opening up my doors, but on that call, what we'll do is we will define and refine your offer and make sure you are clear on how to sell it. So if you are somebody out there who wants to, let's get your first 6 figures this year, we're going to help you package up an offer, but let's say it's 6, 8, 10, or 12K, and we're going to go find your 6, 8, 10, or 12 people to go buy it. So it's easy and you don't get waylaid. I want to get you to your highest revenue in the shortest amount of time with the most amount of ease and the fewest amount of people, so you can live the life you want to live while you are building your business. My hope is that you grab one of our links, you come join us. I believe it is thesoldsisters.com/SIB for She's in Business. I think the links are below. And Kate, I am just so grateful. And my hope is that what we can do together is change the world a little bit. I don't have a small desire. I have a very, very large desire. I want to see all women understand how to sell from a place of confidence, clarity, conviction, because the people you're meant to work with are out there down on their knees, having the moment like I had, where I had locked myself out of the door. My life was in shatters. And I knew that if there was somebody that could have helped me, I would have found the way to step up. And guess what I did? One of those pieces that I did on my trajectory is I went and found a coach. And I remember the conversation with her, and I remember crying, and it gets me. Like, I'm so grateful for her, because she had this amazing premium package for me, and she did something special, and she allowed me to have this crazy payment plan that let me say yes. And it was so important to me. I dove in, I dug in, I did everything she said, and I pulled myself through. So my hope is that maybe if you're in one of those moments, I can be that person for you. Kate can be that person for you. This entire community can be of support to you. That's my hope.
I just, I love, this is what I love about this space, this supportive sales space, because I think that a lot of the more traditional sales programs, which I've bought many of them, I like to see what's going on, they come from this place of selling out of extreme pressure and selling out of fear and selling and stoking these flames in a prospect, and that they should feel like at the very, very bottom rung, and you're the only one who can pull them out. And I know when I've bought feeling like that, I never connected with the program in the way that I wanted to. I never fully trusted the program that I was going into. When I get on sales calls, when I'm the recipient, when I'm the prospect, and they'll challenge me on my false beliefs. They'll ask me where my pain points are, where the holes are, what I want the end vision to be. And so we talk about some of that, but it comes from a place of empowerment, and that yes always feels so amazing. You just jump in full feet with both your feet. And I love your entire approach because it comes from a place of honesty, integrity, and like you said, love. And that's you never doubt your offer and people buying it when you're selling from a place of love. You're delivering what you're offering from a place of love. You're helping people along the journey and getting them their transformation. So thank you so much for sharing this with me. I was taking notes during the 5 yeses. So I'm excited that you're making that available. And guys, we'll put all the links in the description, show notes, everywhere where this is. You can find all of these links, and you should definitely go pick up that $497. That's amazing. Like, that's really amazing. And to get a one-on-one with you is pretty amazing. So thank you for offering that to our community. And if anybody just wants to come follow you and just start to kind of like absorb your awesomeness, what's the best way to start connecting with you online?
Yeah, so I'm a real life human being. I actually believe in connection. So come hang with me. I'm mostly on Facebook in our Sold Sisters Facebook group, SOULD Sisters. Also, if you want to come check out my personal website, I have a book. And I wrote this book based on, I don't want to give like all the here's all the links, but I think if you are feeling yourself in a down moment, I wrote a book called No Woman Down, and it's 51 strategies to create your rise up. It's over on my website, which is Laura Wright Official, LauraWright official.com. Go grab that. I'm a big fan of having multiple ways to work with people. Like I said, I have a $100,000 offer. I have a $100,000 mastermind. I have a $30,000 mastermind. I have a free book. I have a $497. I want for everyone to feel in here, you can meet somebody on their journey, but make sure that you start with a place premium first so that you are replenished as they are replenished.
Love it. All right, everybody. So go check out Laura. I'm telling you, just even following her in her group on social, you get so much value on what she brings. And she's always bringing so much truth and honesty. She doesn't hold anything back. And she's really, if you are interested in premium offers, sales, anything of like functioning in your business and growing it with integrity and love, and still, like she said, replenishing yourself and replenishing your clients, definitely want to follow Laura. So we will see you guys on the next episode of She's in Business Live. Laura, thank you for joining us. I loved talking to you. I hope you will come back.
You name the time, you name the date, I will be here and take care of your people.
I love it. I love it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And if you do have questions for Laura, go ahead and put them in the comments if you're watching this live, and we'll tag her in on any big burning questions if you have them. But always just go follow her, go connect, go make friends with Laura. She's fabulous. So thanks, everybody. See you next time.